If you're an artist who's been trying to make money from your work, but you're still scrolling job boards, still applying to jobs, still thinking maybe you'll go back to school, or still keeping that part-time job just in case, telling yourself you'll give this 6 more months and then figure something else out, I need to tell you why that backup plan is the exact thing keeping you stuck. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did that finally got me out. Because here's what's happening when you keep your options open. You're not going all in because you can't and your brain won't let you. Because every time things get hard, every time nothing's working, your brain's going to go to that escape route. I could always just get a job, I could always just go back to school, and you never end up pushing through the part where it actually starts working and you retreat before you ever get there. It's kind of like that meme with the guy digging for the diamonds, right? But here's what nobody tells you. There's going to be a phase that you have to go through where nothing's working, where you're testing your different ideas and they all flop, where you're putting in hours and you have nothing to show for it, where everyone around you is just wondering why you don't just get a normal job. And I see a lot of people just give up because they never get through the hard part. So it's like that meme, but then you're a little bit further back. And that phase is mandatory because every single person who's built something had to go through it. You can't skip it. But most people quit during that phase because they still have their backup plan and they still have their boats. And I know this because I lived it. In 2022, when I graduated with my art degree, I thought I was set. I finally had my degree, and now I'm just going to apply to a job in the games industry and work for Riot and be set for life. What ended up happening is that I applied to over 500 jobs. I didn't get a single interview. And I'll be honest, I was kind of delusional because I just thought a degree was all I needed. And during college, I was severely addicted to video games. So I didn't get any internships, I didn't network. And when I graduated, I basically had nothing. So when I couldn't find a job, my boats were already kind of burned for me. But I still had a choice. I could keep applying, keep hoping, keep the job search as my backup plan, or I could accept that that path was closed and go all in on building a business for myself. So that's what I did. I burned the boats, I quit video games, stopped watching Netflix, I stopped doing anything that was just killing time because those were the things that were keeping me stuck in the first place. And I told myself that I'm only consuming content that helps me build something. And then I dove into the phase where nothing was working, where I'm testing and failing, and I just felt like I was wasting my time. But I couldn't retreat. There was nothing for me to retreat to, so I had to keep going. And you might be wondering what this boat thing I keep talking about is. And it's from this video I watched a long time ago that actually changed my whole mindset about this. So there's this old story about armies landing on the enemy shores, and the first thing the commander does is burn down their own ships. And it might seem stupid because why would you burn down your own boats? And the commander does this for a reason, because now there's no retreat. There's no, oh, if we lose the battle, then we can still retreat back to our boats. If the army witnesses all their boats being burned down, they're going to internalize that there is no surrender. They cannot retreat, so they can only win or die. And in the grand scheme of things, if they do win, then they conquered that entire land, and that's going to be worth way more than like the 20 boats they burned down. So when your only option is to win, you're going to fight differently, you're going to think differently, and you'll find solutions that you never would have found if retreat was still an option. And that's what happened to me. When I had no backup plan, I figured things out that I never would have figured out if I was still half focused on the job applications. And when you finally make that mindset shift, you'll realize that you don't have the time to game anymore. You don't have the time to be watching Netflix. And you'll realize that what you do today is going to shape the outcome of your future, and everything else is just a distraction. So if you've been trying to make money as an artist for a while and nothing's working, I need you to ask yourself honestly, are your boats burned, or are you still keeping an escape route? Because as long as you have a backup